Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. I'm Dr. Yasapa. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. What is it? Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome. So I have about 1 hour at most. 1 hour at most. We're going to pick it back up with Virgo. Okay, we're going to pick it back up with Virgo in the Astrology of the Old Testament, or the Lost Word Regained, published in 1892. The author is Carl Anderson. Okay, y'all, so we're going to go back to Virgo, who is, of course, traces back rather, or is a remix of the great mother Hathor, who is the celestial ship of the north, who is the great mother Typhoon. So Virgo in the solar zodiac projection, again, traces back to the circumpolar zodiac, which is the great mother Typhoon. All right, y'all? So anyway, let's pick it up. We're on page 198. Page 198, my hands feel stiff. Last paragraph. Well, actually, hold on. The wind blew and turned my page. Yeah. Actually, we covered the last paragraph in class number 118. I think this is 119. So we're going to start on 199. Okay, page 199. So here we are. This is page 199. All right. So y'all can pause this on the replay if you want to read it. Okay. So here we go, y'all. Here we go. I have about 1 hour. Let me get my clock ready because I cannot be late. I cannot be late. I have 1 hour. Not even 1 hour, actually. So at my time at 2:10, I gotta bounce my time. All right, so that's maybe 50 minutes. All right, so here we go. Its diseases are naturally the colic rather. Back in 1892, I don't know what colic means. If it's a baby crying or something to do with the digestive system. Okay, so worms. So what is this telling us? So let's say colic is dealing with crying, worms, digestive. So this is Virgo, so it's harvest season. So this has to do with something dealing with eating unripe fruit. Eating unripe fruit, which at that time they said can make you sick, even take you out. Okay, so anyway, ulcers of the bowels and all infirmities incident to the belly and stomach. So this would be due to eating unripe fruit. Okay, so all GI problems. So for example, anything that those symptoms of cholera. Okay. It rules Acacia, Crete, Corinthia. So Virgo rules these places. Greece, Rhodes, Artheca, Comatia, the Rhine, Mesopotamia, Assyria. Of cities, Babylon, Jerusalem, Corinth, Novaria, Konia, Lyons, Toulouse, Basel, Paris, in France, Heidelberg, parts of Cincinnati, Ohio, and parts of the city of Boston and Hamburg, where the parks gardens, etc. are. Now I understand why they would include parks and gardens, because the Great Mother is the mother of all vegetation. Of course, vegetation sustains life. Parks and gardens would also trace back to the Garden of Eden, which is Mount Meru, M-E-R-U, or you can Moro, you can replace the vowels. Vowels are interchangeable. These are located celestially in the celestial North Pole region of space, y'all. So again, we're dealing here, tracing all of this back to the circumpolar zodiac. So what's the whole point of that? To differentiate between the mindset of the solarites, the mindset, when I say solarites, I mean the solar zodiac, the Osirians, Catholicism, the religious people, the solar religions, Catholicism, Judaism, etc., etc., etc. All of these solar religions that have a mother, son, deity, and a father. Okay? That mindset of determining or reckoning reality, as it were, reckoning time by the Escheat and sun. And then, of course, light and darkness, good and evil, okay? So on and so forth. That mindset, colorism, racism, external deities, fiat, okay, everything that's fake. In other words, everything that is the polar opposite of what it should be in nature. Harming each other, lying, not being independent and self-sufficient, looking for someone to save you, lying to others and lying to yourself. See, this is the mindset of the Osirians. This is the mindset of the present paradigm, which is the solar zodiac projection and the solar zodiac religions, okay? All of it is completely detached from nature. And so are you if you have that mindset, all right? The mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers is nature and natural law. They reckon time by circle 7, clock of destiny, and they dealt with each other according to principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, or restated, redenominated, don't injure anyone, which means don't harm anyone, which means don't steal. Don't steal someone's rights. Okay, y'all? So these are the north and south celestial polar regions. That's the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Science, technology, engineering, learning, unity. Okay? Note the difference between the mindsets. All right? So we're tracing it back. Well, let's continue. Page 199. Well, I just realized something. So one means consent, assent, agree. This is the number one. The number one, the ancient quote-unquote Egyptians or quote-unquote Kemites, to say that they agree, according to the authors, they would point at the sun. So from my point of view, I don't know if this would be solar, or which sun are they talking about? The sun's in the north, stars are suns, or are they talking about the orb, the yellow disk in the sky? But in any event, they would point to the sun like this, and they wrote one, which is also I. By the way, I is consciousness, right? I is consciousness. We'll come back to that. So they would write the number one like this, or the letter I, or they would write a letter J you can see, you can trace a J from my finger to my thumb, right? And this is J. Of course, in the ancient Ibaryath, which is the biblical or Paleo Hebrew, Y and J are interchangeable. So when you look at Jesus, you're looking at actually Y or JES, that's the root or the radical. And then the US is an unnecessary, in other words, it's not supposed to be there, Latin suffix. So what we're looking at when you say Jesus or yes, well, I guess it's obvious, right? You're saying agree, I consent. Okay? I agree, I consent. That's what you're saying. That's what it literally means. The number 1, or the letter I, which is also the letter J. So Jess, yes, pointing to the sun means I agree, I concur. There's a whole lot more to that story, but this is where we get the Messiah, who is the S-O-N, Son of God, who is the S-U-N, Son. Do y'all see it? Who is the S-U-N, Son? So page 199, so now we have 2 9s. Of course, the 9 is a womb and the vaginal canal. Okay, so we have, so since we have 2 9s, we can subtract 1. We can delete 1, right, because they're doubles. Now we have a 1 and a 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. Well, 9 is 10. We went through that in C.M. Bay's work in Clock of Destiny. I think it's volume 2. Maybe 1 or 2 classes ago. No, in different video series. Jesus was not crucified or something like that. The thumbnail has Billy Carson and Wes Huff on the thumbnail. It's about maybe 1 or 2 or 3 videos ago. But all of those are worth watching. There are 10 in that series. Okay? So where was I? So 10, 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 reduces to 3, right? 10 reduces to 3. So what are we looking at? What are we looking at? So when we look at 9, I'm referencing C.M. Bay's work, The Science of 0 through 9. Okay, the astrology of it. The Devil's Pulpit gives you the astrology of it, and the astrology that explains the strokes. For example, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3. These are all strokes describing the movement of specific stars, telling a story. Everybody understand that? Everybody understand that? All right, so that's in the Devil's Pulpit, published in, I think, is 1853, 1857, and the author is the Reverend Robert Taylor. Okay, so you need to look at the Clock of Destiny, volume 1 and 2, or maybe volume 2, and then the Devil's Pulpit, or just watch the videos that I just referenced and you can get all of that information, all right? So 10 is actually 9. 9 reduces to 3. So let's look at 9 and 12. 3 goes into 9 3 times, 3 goes into 12. Why 12? Well, the 12 constellations, the 12 apostles, okay? The apostles represent the 12 constellations or the 12 zodiacs, okay? That are what? Situated around the Maserah, which is the belt or the old path. That old path that the Most High told his people to return to. Well, the old path, Maserah, traces back to the second star in the handle of the Big Dipper, which is part of the Great Bear, which is the celestial ship of the north. That second star is Mitzar, Mitzar. Celestial Mitzar, Mitzrayim, Mazarah, remixed into the solar zodiac as the belt around which the 12 zodiac signs are situated. So what are we getting at? 3 goes into 9 3 times, 3 goes into 12, and remember 3 is the first perfect number. Okay? 3 you'll get that from the astrology in the New Testament, but I don't remember the author's name right now. So 3 goes into 12 4 times. 3 plus 4 is 7. That gives you circle 7, right? The Mazarah, Mitzar, that gives you circle 7. The 4 corners, the original 4 corners in the circumpolar, in the northern circumpolar celestial region of space. Everybody got that? There's your circle 7. Okay? So this is number 1. I just noticed this about the page. Well, it's significant because we're dealing with Virgo. Virgo is a remix of the Great Mother, right? The Great Mother. The Great Bear. The Great Mother, her first production, her first transformation of something, of consciousness, of I consciousness into something physical is the Great Bear. 3 stars in the handle and 4 stars in the cup or the dipper. Okay? Is it clear? So Kim, Ham, the house of Yasharah, Israelites, whatever you want to call it, ascends from, remember we're talking about consciousness, as the Hermetic Law, as above, so below, as below, so above. So we have a Mitzrayim above, celestially, and a Mitzrayim below. Clear? And then all of the Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, autochthonous men and women who are sprung from the soil, who are thought made manifest from the soil, you're just one family. You're just one family. All right? Period. So here we go, y'all. I think I'm going to stop there because I want to get into, I want to cover some of the information in the paragraphs. Okay, so the next paragraph on page 199. The person represented by Virgo without planets and the ascendant generally has a shrill voice, all the members inclining to brevity, and the person signified as witty and exceedingly well spoken, very studious, and given to all kinds of learning. The angle or angel, the angle of light, lights are energy and information, right? Light is energy and information. Also recall that light is a shadow of darkness, and light is not eternal. Light is physical. Absolutely, light is particles. Also, what else do we know from quantum physics about light? Intention can affect light. Okay, y'all? So light is not eternal. Sunlight is not eternal. It is not pure spirit. Darkness is pure spirit. This is coming from The Celestial Ship of the North, Volume 1, by Emma, what is her name? Emma Straightan. It'll come to me. Anyway, let's keep it going. So the angle or angel of the sign Virgo is called Hamali-El. So El is a suffix. El is one of the Aboriginal titles to the American land, the birthright. Okay, so we have 5 tribes. So the suffix, that one of the titles, the appellations that ties us to the land, the L's. Okay, the L's. There are more, the L's, the Bays, the Days, the Owls, and the Alis. These are the tribes. They would have been represented in the Continental Congress, right? The Moorish tribes. And these titles, you must take back possession of in order to demonstrate your bloodline heritability or heirship to the land, America and the American continents. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little bit distracted because I can't be late to where I'm going. So I'm gonna have to check the time. Keep checking the time over and over. Is it clear? So Hamali-El. Hamali-El. El is also the SU in sun, but remember the SU in sun is also the SO in sun. Clear? El is also Saturn, the planet Saturn, EL. Saturn as a planet has its origin in Sut, S-U-T, which is Sut is Sirius the dog star in the south celestial pole region. Y'all stay with me. We're tracing this back, okay? Sut is the first transformation of consciousness. That's I, consciousness. Are y'all starting to see something? The universal I, the universal mind, the Hermetic law of mentalism. Okay? The action of the mind is called thought. You want to be more specific, critical thinking, analytical thinking, imagination, visualization, so on and so forth, right? Intuition. But anyway, so Sut is the first transformation. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. All right? So Sut is that consciousness transformed into Sirius the dog star, which is the first transformation of energy that is primarily masculine or predominantly masculine energy. Does everyone understand that? So we have the Immaculate Mother Typhoon, the Immaculate Great Mother Typhoon, who is the Great Mother Hathor. The Immaculate, that word is connected to her, never to anything masculine or male. Clear? That came during the solar zodiac projection. The initial iteration of YHWH, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Jehovah, all of these, its initial iteration is a remix of the Great Mother Typhoon and its feminine energy. Does everyone understand that? Everyone understand? So El, Sut. Sut becomes a mythological god, and the mythological god Sut is then, or becomes, or is remixed into Saturn. And Saturn is referred to as El. So what are we seeing? We're still seeing the Hermetic law of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. So you have to know who you are. You must know who you are. And that's what we're getting back to. We're returning to the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. If your mindset is that you come from an animal, and that you need to behave like an animal, that's a very different mindset than the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, which says that we ascend. Our point of origin is Midsar, the second star in the handle of the Big Dipper inside of the Great Bear constellation, okay, which is the thigh of the Great Bear. And then we ascend out of that, which is the gynomatrix. All of this is celestial. We ascend out of that gynomatrix. So the Great Mother Typhoon, the Great Mother Hathor, the celestial ship of the north, is the gynomatrix, the celestial womb. Everybody understand? From which everything, time, everything physical has its origin. And then of course we are thought made manifest from the soil. Therefore we are the heirs to the land, because we are the land. This is why Moors and land cannot be separated. Okay, this is why Moors and land cannot be separated. This explains why land and law, which is equivalent to saying Moors and land, are the substance and subject matter of the law. Okay, if it ain't about land, it ain't about nothing. If it ain't about Moors, it ain't about nothing. Y'all got it? So therefore, when the Moor speaks, when the original man speaks, he's speaking law. Therefore, anything you say can and will be used against you, but also for you, right? Okay, y'all, let's keep it going. So the color is black, speckled with blue. Y'all have heard some, we used to say, oh, that person is so black, they're blue black. This is taking us back to the circumpolar zodiac projection, the Great Mother Typhoon, who is what, y'all? Intensely black. Who is imaged as intensely black. In fact, a superabundance of black. And a superabundance of black, or the triple darkness of space, triple darkness of black, metaphysically is pure light, is pure spirit. Everyone sees that? Okay, so these are the hidden or the encoded information that only very few people know this information, even in the secret societies. Okay? So but you're getting it here. You're getting it here. And you didn't have to do anything crazy or cough up any fiat. All right? So let's continue. So the color is black, speckled with blue, or dark blue, speckled with white. In man, it corresponds to the belly, or entrails, so the intestines, the gut, and stomach, so the GI tract. Inasmuch as it is a storehouse for food, the Garden of Eden, right? The Garden of Eden. Of course, the Garden of Eden, celestially, is located in the celestial North Pole. So it is a storehouse for food, fruits of all kind. Why? Because the Great Mother is pictured as intensely black with a gold pyramid. Her bosom, right? She has all kinds of fruit and everything all over her. Fruits of all kind. Of course, this is Virgo, so we're talking about the harvest season, right? Butter, cheese, grains, etc. Okay, so the Great Mother Hathor, the Great Mother Typhoon, the celestial ship of the north, provides nutrition, provides comfort, provides mothering for her sons. Okay, now there's only two people. There's mothers and then there's sons. There are mothers and then there's sons. Okay? And our ancient ancestors turned to their mother, the Great Mother Typhoon, for comfort, and for motherly comfort and nourishment. This is the mindset that we need to come back to, okay? And you also have to remember, as above, so below, as below, so above. So we're talking about Hermetic laws, the heavenly bodies, natural phenomena, natural law. The natural law is don't harm anyone, okay? Well, it continues. As it rules over the vitals, so I'm assuming this is the vital organs. It is the great seat of life. Therefore, the life sustained is from this sign. So this is a remix. Clearly, this is a remix of the Great Mother Typhoon, the celestial ship of the north. Okay, the Great Mother Hathor, the Great Mother Nature, all of these different appellations that we refer to the Great Mother as, okay? Virgo is a remix of that. Before time, the next sentence reads, before time, when but 10 signs were used, when only 10 zodiac signs were used. Did y'all hear that? What impact does that have on the Gospels? The Gospels have 12 apostles. Each apostle represents a zodiac sign. What impact does 12 zodiac signs have on the number of years that make up a zodiacal year? In other words, the sun is in the zodiac, in each zodiac sign for a specific number of years. Okay? So it has to be less, right? Or you would think it's less. And then, how does it affect a great year? Which is the sun of each of the 10 zodiacal ages added together. All right, so with 12 zodiac signs, I think it's something like 2,156 or something like that, approximately. I'm not sure of the exact number. Number of years in one zodiac sign. So you'd multiply that by 12. That gives you the number of years in a great year under the solar zodiac projection or solar zodiac system, which is the zodiac that everybody knows today. It's approximately 25,900 years, something like that, approximately. But if there are only 10 zodiac signs, well now, let's just assume the sun is still going to be in there approximately 2,100 and let's say 60 years. So you multiply that by 10 because there are 10 zodiac signs. Now a great year is 21,600 years. So a great year is some 4,320 years less. Everybody see that? But anyway, the other two zodiacs came at the fall of man. Now this is very interesting. Came at the fall of man. Libra came in and it used to be that Virgo, Scorpio was one zodiac sign. Virgo, Scorpio was one zodiac sign. And at the fall of man, this is a whole story. The fall of man is a whole story in itself. Libra comes in between them and separates them. So now you have two extra zodiac signs, Libra and Scorpio. Libra becomes Ma'at, the scales, okay, the balanced scales, okay? The balanced scales. So there's a lot involved in this, okay? Christ, when the sun sun is at the celestial equator, it takes on the title of Christ. When it falls and crosses below the celestial equator on or around September 22nd, somewhere around there. Christ is called that righteous one. That righteous one. Okay, now remember, it's in Libra, the balanced scales. Every man gets paid exactly what he deserves. Whatever a man sows, that he shall also reap, for the work that he did in planting his harvest and getting, planting his fields and then reaping the rewards of his harvest in the fall. So JC is called, Christ is called that righteous one, because he pays you exactly what you deserve. All right? So without Libra there, if it's just Virgo, Scorpio, how does that work? I can tell y'all how all of this works. The author of this same book tells us that the Catholic Church added 30 degrees. That's how you get 33 degrees, because initially there are only 3 degrees. I think there's Mercury, the Sun. I don't remember. There's Mercury, the stars and the moon, something like that. I'll come back to it. But you can easily find it in this book. But the Catholics added 30 more to incorporate their dogmatic Christian doctrines into Masonry, and hence you get what's known now as Freemasonry. They just made it up. They just made it up, okay? They just made it up. All right, so here we go. So what is that to say? Some people might take issue with me saying the things that I say about the solar zodiac projection. A lot of people might be angry at me, or you have some negative impression because I'm telling the truth about the solar zodiac and the beings that brought it in. The Osirians, the Solarites, the pharaohs were hybrids. If my memory serves me correctly, the initial pharaohs, and remember, these are kings. We had no kings, so that's already violating natural law. We had no kings, but they are said to be titans. So maybe they were men who pushed worship of titans or mythological titans. The next iteration of pharaohs is said to be the demiurges. So maybe these were men. I wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe these were men who pushed worship of demiurges. Okay, and they stood as demiurges in the form of a man. Could be. And then next, the human pharaohs. The human pharaohs. So could it be that these human pharaohs have something to do with Yakub? The Han Uman, or their team, their camp? Okay, which we would be familiar with, the European or the invading pharaohs. I think it's Dr. Anthony Broader who talks about Egypt. There's only one temple that was called Egypt. And at that time period, these pharaohs were European. But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. It's not about complexion or melanation. It's about who is autochthonous, sprung from the soil, and who is hybrid. Nothing to do with complexion. Okay? So connotatively speaking, it's not about race. Okay, it's about bloodline and birthright. Okay, but anyway, it's just something to think about. I don't know, I wasn't there. Let's continue. Before time. Before time, what does that mean? When but 10 zodiac signs were used, this was the union of I and O. What do we know about the letter O? O is 360 degrees. O is the sun walking through each zodiac sign. So the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year, it's a circle, right? Maserat. And then I, of course, I is the finger pointing at the S-U-N, sun. Does everyone see that? I is consciousness. Consciousness is the first Hermetic law, mentalism. This is a remix of the circumpolar zodiac. Remember Mitzrayim, Maserat, Mitzer, the second star in the handle. These were remixed into the solar zodiac projection, okay, and the solar religions. This is what we're working with. So I and O, y'all already know, if my memory serves me correctly, we're getting back to what? Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahoo. But anyway, let's let the author speak. Before time, when but 10 signs were used, this was the union of I, remember I is one, I is also Y, and O, or the male and female principles. Ah, okay, so the male and female principles would be what, y'all? The Hermetic law of gender, which has its origin or emanates from the first Hermetic law, which is mentalism. Is it clear? The wedding of Leo, who is Leo? Leo, the zodiac sign Leo, in religion is what? The lion of the tribe of Judah. Who is the lion of the tribe of Judah? This is JC, the Christ figure, right? So the union, listen, the union, the wedding. Y'all remember I talked about this yesterday? The wedding of Leo, the lion, zodiac sign, and Virgo, signifying the union of spirit and matter, of spirit and matter, or what, E equals MC squared, if that's actually correct, of the vital rays, listen, of the vital rays of the S-U-N sun. Who's the S-U-N sun? The S-U-N sun is the S-O-N sun, but also the Father. So what is this talking about? This is talking about exactly what we went over yesterday in the class that I did on Christ was never crucified, number 10. So what's the story? This is telling the story. Now I'm giving you secret knowledge now. This is telling the story of how the transition was made. And remember, it was made through warfare, through violence and birthright theft. How the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, they called them Typhonians, as if they were worshiping some external god, or Soot Typhonians. That's all BS. How that mindset was destroyed and almost totally wiped out. But we're bringing it back now. And I hope y'all will help me by liking and sharing this video, talking about what you're learning here. So what happened? What happened? So according to their story, Soot, who is the firstborn son of the Immaculate Mother, grows up. This is according to the Solarites' religion and the Solarites' astrotheology, their mythology, okay? This is hidden, secret, occult information. Sut grows up, becomes his mother's consort, takes his mother as a consort. Today they would say wife. They have a baby. Okay, they have a baby. They produce a son. Well, let me go back. Sut takes on the role of a generator. Now remember, the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, the great mother Typhoon, the celestial ship of the north, Hathor, is the gynomatrix, the womb from which all things ascend out of. But Sut, when he becomes his own mother's consort, his own mother's husband, takes on the role of being the generator. Do y'all see that? Why? Because he doesn't have a womb. So you can't be a gynomatrix. You can't be a matrix. You don't have a womb. You don't have a uterus. Y'all see it? So they call him the generator. So they get busy, produce a son. This son becomes the father. They get busy. The father and mother produce the mother. This is crazy, right? Produce the mother. Y'all got that? Produce the mother. Who's the mother? The mother becomes a Holy Spirit. And so what's happening here? So now this father, who is now the generator, he is said to be gender neutral. He is said to be a male virgin. In other words, he ain't interested in a woman. He's a male virgin, or he's what? Gender neutral, which means he is an amorphodite. Gender neutral, he's an amorphodite. Okay? And this is the tetragrammaton, YHWH. Y'all got it, y'all? Feminine. So this is the introduction of a man being the generator, and as time goes by, he evolves. In other words, they build more lies, add more lies to the story, and he becomes the father, the creator. Everybody see that? He becomes the father, he becomes the creator, he becomes YHWH and all of the other solar father deities. Now, if you look at this in a flesh and blood family situation, it's absolutely disgusting. It's incestuous. And in the book, The Devil's Pulpit, the author does a fantastic job of presenting that mythology to you, but also in the celestial ship of, actually in the celestial ship of the north is more easy to understand than it is in the Devil's Pulpit. Okay, so the Devil's Pulpit, he gives you more of the mythology. All right, in the celestial ship of the north, he just gives you the straight up facts. All right, very simple, easy to understand. Okay, so this is how that transition to matriarchy to patriarchy happened. And the mechanism was violence, birthright theft, detaching people's mind or blinding the minds, right? JC said, I think it's Mark chapter 4, having eyes to see but cannot perceive, ears to hear but cannot understand. Because if they ever did, they would be able to repent and be saved. This is the brainwashing. This is the intentional making you stupid, conning you, gaining your trust, and flipping the script on you, okay, to put you in perpetual bondage. Y'all heard? So let's continue. All right. So the wedding of Leo, the lion, and Mercury, that's the sun, that's Jesus, and Virgo, of course, is the Mother Mary. So their union, their wedding, signifying the union of spirit and matter. And the vital rays of the Escheat sun, or right ascension. That's when the Escheat sun enters into the Lamb of God, which is Aries. Okay, and that's the east gate, and that is the gate or opening to the entrance of the kingdom of God. With the earthly or natural body Virgo, the celestial virgin, who was to bring forth fruit from the overshadowing of the Lord of hosts, viz, or meaning the Escheat sun elevated above it in midsummer. Of course, that's the summer solstice around June 22nd. And thus fecundating means making the soil very, very fertile. So in other words, in July, the sun's energy is at its most intense, of each of the months of the year. It is most intense in July. And that intensity, that intense heat, fecundates the soil, makes it more fertile, and now the crops, the vegetation, can begin to ripen. In other words, it needs that extra energy to ripen. All right, y'all? So the Escheat sun elevated above it in midsummer, and thus fecundating the womb of nature. The womb of nature is the soil, and producing natural bodies from the receptive earth, whose refreshing dews and moisture, this is a JC's first miracle, converting water into wine, whose refreshing dews and moisture, water, quickened by the rains, R-A-I-N-S, and he has in parentheses, R-E-I-N-S, of the mother Isis, or Mer, M-E-R-E. Vowels are interchangeable, so Moro or Moru. All references back to the great mother Typhoon, great mother Hathor, the celestial ship of the north, the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. In other words, absolute darkness. Absolute darkness being or is pure spirit. This is what it's telling you. Because it was from the evaporation or exhalations of the Mer, M-E-R, or C-S-E-A. Also, you should know that that is also a direct reference back to the great mother Typhoon. It's talking about the celestial seas, the celestial seas, the great abyss in the northern part of space, okay? Ponds, lakes, dews, and vapors that quicken into life the eternal seed, which came forth in its appointed time. So the great mother says that the fruit that she brought forth is the Escheat sun. So you see, this is a remix of that. And was constantly cared for by the mother. This is the great mother Typhoon, being what? The source of our comfort, okay, and provisions, where we turn to, okay, remixed into the solar system. Everybody see that? Cared for by the mother, Mer, M-E-R-E, viz, the virgin queen of heaven. This is the moon, okay, which is the satellite of the earth. So, of course, the moon is involved in vegetation, right? In agriculture, rather. This then is again the union of Joseph and Mary. Giuseppe and Mary. So I gotta go, y'all. We'll come back to this. David and the virgin who lay at his feet, 30 degrees of Leo, of Eve who came out of Adam. All right, y'all hearing this? Of Eve who came out of Adam. Of course, that's a remix of the story I just told y'all. Leo merging into Virgo. Ruth, Gleaner, and Boaz. I gotta run, y'all. Shalom Islam to all the Moors. Assalamu alaikum. I, self-law, am master.